Andy, your impressions of that?
Well, you could have put the bet on it being Scotland, couldn't you? With the way that it's gone over the last couple of tournaments, etc. So, but that's good. It's a great fixture, obviously. They know each other well, and will continue to do that over the coming years. But for Uruguay and Portugal, we know a little bit about Portugal. We've played them once. Trained against them actually a few times, so we followed their journey. Uruguay a little bit different, and I know that Warren's done a bit of work there as well. So, but all in all, I was super excited actually. Got the old hairs on the skin, standing up. Definitely, as in it's exciting, you know. So that's the way it should be.
As a challenge as a coach, where would you rank getting Ireland to win a knockout? You would expect.
Well, obviously, I back myself and the rest of the coaches and the players and all the staff to go as far as we'd all would hope we'd have the ambition to win a World Cup. Otherwise, what's the point? I'm sure that everyone else feels the same way.
Bernard? Andy, as a whole, as the draw as a whole, would you describe the fact that, you know, like you said, you've got Scotland, could have been worse, and you've avoided, all going well, if you in the pool, you've avoided the All Blacks and South Africa. Would you describe that all in all as a good draw?
Well, I don't think we could have had the. What do you mean as far as avoiding Australia?
As how it could have went, in other words.
Avoiding South Africa, or what do you mean avoiding South? We couldn't have got that.
In the pool, you've an opportunity to avoid them initially in the next stage.
Oh well, it depends how their games go as well. So you can't really. Well, you can try and second guess it and think all different permutations are going to work out in a certain way. But we know that a World Cup always throws up these type of things. That's why we love it so much, you know. So I suppose you're always looking at which side of the draw you could come out, but if you don't look after your own side of things first and foremost, then things could slightly happen a little bit differently. But you know, having said that, everyone else in our pool is 100% going to be thinking in the same way.
Okay, and just your own reaction to that draw?
It's exciting. Sharpens the mind a little bit. I'm obviously in Leinster mode being back in this week, but brings up some memories of the last World Cup and the realisation that there's 4 campaigns from an Ireland perspective before we get into the World Cup. So it's going to come fast.
Thanks. Cameron?
Andy, I know the dust is settling on the Autumn Nation series and the last month or so, but in terms of yourself, is there anything you'd like to see from the Irish contingent more widely before the Six Nations that maybe you didn't see in November over the next couple of months?
Well, that was quick. Is the World Cup over now? That was quick, wasn't it? Listen, we've just been talking, myself and Caelan now, and obviously, you know, the start to most of our lads' season was the autumn series. So therefore, by the time we come back into the Six Nations, that's 3 months into the season, and we want to see a continuation of players, combinations, individuals getting better throughout that 3 month period. So therefore, we take the learnings from the Six Nations, from the autumn series, and take it into the Six Nations.
The signing of Michael Alatoa by Munster was announced last week. I know when David Humphreys came in July 2024, he hinted at maybe limiting the ability of provinces to sign overseas front rowers. And we've had Rabbit Slimani at Leinster. I think Ulster, Angus Bella's arriving soon, and apparently Munster are in for Magnus van der Merwe as well. Thomas Clarkson and Paddy McCarthy and Gus McCarthy are great success stories of players who've come through, but is the province's emphasis on still signing those overseas players?
Well, I suppose you should ask David about that or the provinces, but I know that there is a plan that goes behind all that, and what you see on the surface isn't always what's going on behind the scenes, as far as people do need to dig out every now and again. But I'd be comfortable enough that the likes of Paddy and Tom would be getting the game time that we need. If not, obviously the questions will be asked anyway, I would have thought.
Thanks.
Andy, Rugby obviously do it very differently, making the draw so early. Is
Yeah.
it a good thing or a bad thing when you're a coach in the squad in general, when you know your opponent's so far in advance, well, 2.5 years before the actual tournament?
Well, we've you guys included, have all been involved in a number of these now, and you just know that 3 years was definitely too far away, in my opinion anyway. 2 years just seem a little bit strange, but I do get it all, for everything that can be organised or should be organised, etc. But as far as the playing side is concerned, obviously, that's what we deal with, the high performance side of it. You just know through experience that so much can happen within those 2 years, with eligibility and all that comes into play. And, you might think that a certain side anyway, but by the time you meet them in the World Cup, they become a completely different entity. So that's always happened. And I suppose that there'll be no different this time around.
And just in general, there's been a lot of talk in the last couple of weeks, a lot of noise, if you like, from people giving their opinion on the sport in general, whether that's in a good way or a bad way, and a lot of criticisms, for example. Do you feel that's warranted, or sometimes are people looking to nitpick and try and find flaws rather than looking at the things that are good about the sport?
Yeah, but that's life, isn't it? That's just life. That's why we're all made. We're all always trying to find a scoop or a reason or whatever. So I get all that. That won't change. Thanks,
Johnny. Andy, there's so much between now and the World Cup starts. But when do you actually start your own planning for it, or can you do that? Or
It's already started, believe me. I've literally just come out of a 2-hour meeting that we've just had straight after the draw there. So these things have to be planned way in advance, especially when you're trying to navigate yourself the other side of the world. So now we know a little bit more. We don't know nowhere near enough of it yet. I suppose the fixtures and where we're going to be based and all that is a big part of that. But trying to map it out and get it all booked in place and what training camps look like and all that's all well underway.
I know you don't have a crystal ball, but there's about 2 years to go before it starts. Do you envisage the team transitioning much more between now and then?
Oh, like I said about everyone else, then no more so than ourselves. I've no doubt about that. I mean, I think a good example would be before the last World Cup, we'd an Emerging Ireland tour, and everyone thought that could have been a little bit late in the day as far as preparations for that's concerned. But I think with 7 lads from that tour, or 6, I might be exaggerating a bit, in regards to being involved, certainly in preparation, and lads really putting their hands up to be involved within that World Cup squad. So it just shows you how quickly things can change, and obviously there's a plan of what you think could happen on the way, but you move with that as you go as well.
Okay, thank you. Just for here, we'll facilitate 2 questions from the online. So William Davies and Ewan Robertson. So William, if you'd just like to ask your question, please.
Yeah, sure. Can I ask Caelan a question, please?
Brilliant.
The fact that you're there today now with Ireland, talking about the World Cup, but you've got a big European game coming up at the weekend. How much attention do you play to Ireland when you're back at Leinster? Are you looking at other players to see how they're performing, or do you have to put Ireland in a box and start thinking about it at the Six Nations time?
Well, I mean, there's a fair bit of alignment between the two in terms of the common denominator being we want to get better as individuals from every aspect of the game. So, like, me getting better and focusing on playing with Leinster feeds into Ireland hugely as well. I want to get better as a player, as a leader. So I've got an opportunity to do that this week, and I don't want there to be a difference in standards or in how I play when it's international versus provincial, both Europe and URC. So it's always about getting better, getting the most out of myself, pushing those around me. There's obviously a good bunch of Leinster lads who are in the Ireland squad, so there's a bit of carryover there. But yeah, it's always just constant improvement as we go.
Thanks, William. And just Ewan Robertson for the final question for the live section, please.
Yeah, and just from a Scotland perspective, you've had an incredible record against them in recent times. I mean, what challenge you think Gregor Townsend's side pose to you? And obviously, you work closely with so many of their key players over the summer.
Yeah, it's amazing the rivalry that we've had over the years, and who would have thought in the last couple of World Cups that we've met each other, because we obviously meet each other in a pretty important competition. That's the Six Nations every single year. And I suppose the easy thing to say for us is that what we say every single time that we play Scotland is that the respect and stuff that we have for them as an unbelievably dangerous quality world-class side has always been the case. And now, having worked with a lot of the players in the summer, you get to see why you feel like that, So obviously, knowing a few more guys, there's insight there, I suppose, both ways. But I suppose over the course of 2 years, those things change massively as well.